Fuck a duck. We are live. Excuse my
We are
language.
so sorry for the technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. That's
That
on
was
us.
awful. That was awful. Our technology was not working with us, and now my light's not on. Chris, why don't you get us started here? Let's do a little quick recap of Thursday Night Football before we jump into the Sunday games. And I'm going to get a beer.
Yeah, Thursday night football, ugly game. Not really so much ugly. We kept it close for three quarters. Obviously, Giants just crumbled against the superior team. To be honest with you, missed tackling from the Giants was atrocious. It was an all-time game for missed tackles. I mean, PFF had him at 15 plus missed tackles. Can't have that, especially against Debo, CMC. Looked like they're going to cover the spread there for a second, and ended up just choking that away as well. So my prediction was wrong, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. 49ers talking some crap against Daniel Jones. Obviously, when Jones is making $160 million, whatever it may be, over 4 years. Obviously, the contract is what it is, but he's going to be the prime target. I don't think that it's Daniel Jones's game to blame. Offensive line also looked crappy. Shane Lemieux absolutely just putrid. So, but yeah, good to get the stream started. I won't get into too much of the Thursday night game. I know we're here to recap some Sunday slate games, but apologies for the technical difficulties for everyone. Also, just watching, I had my own debacle. Car battery died this morning, so Sunday not off to a great start across the board. But we're here, and that's all that matters. So appreciate you guys having me.
I had no idea that they kept it close. I went to bed. I went to bed at probably seven. Like I watched like a quarter and a half or so, and like it wasn't like a runaway. I think it was like 10-3 at that point, maybe, and it wasn't a runaway game just yet. But like it had like the Giants were just being dominated. So I guess maybe the 49ers are just playing down to their level. I guess I don't know, but good for them.
Yeah.
I guess like sticking in there with what again I said last week or Thursday night rather, what I perceive to be a team that's primed for the NFC Championship game this year. Good for them for sticking with them that long. That's good. It looked early on like Mac Breida was going to have a career game, but then apparently he only had like 20. Like that first like couple runs that he had that were big. I'm like, oh, here he comes. Was apparently all he had. So I ate those words real quick.
And it's good that they didn't, Chris, I don't know if you touched on this, but it's good that they didn't like push Saquon to play in that game. Because that like
That's an interesting topic, though, because
okay.
I don't know if you guys heard the report, but I forgot who it was. I think it was Josina Anderson, I think her name is.
Yeah.
She reported before the game, like right before the game, that Saquon actually told her he has a high ankle sprain. So there's
Okay.
really conflicting reports about what Saquon's injury actually is and the severity of his sprain. So I don't know if the Giants and the front office is trying to play just, just trying to just lie out their asses. I'm not sure what's going on there, but he might have a high ankle sprain. There's conflicting reports. I'm still trying to get to the bottom of that, but watch out for that because obviously a high ankle sprain is more of a 6-week kind of thing, presumably. I know they say Saquon's a fast healer, but at this rate, I mean, it's looking like a 3-week injury with a mild ankle sprain. But if it's a high ankle sprain, he's gonna be out for a lot more, which changes the ball game for the Giants, obviously. So, yeah,
What's it
I
on
don't know.
paper as?
What was that?
What's it on paper as? A calf strain?
No, it's an ankle
It
sprain, a
just says
mild ankle
ankle.
sprain.
Yeah.
Just an ankle sprain. Okay.
Yeah.
So what? Yeah. So and there have been reports. I mean, the Giants aren't really. They're pulling a play out of the Mets playbook where they're just kind of not letting the public know the full transparency of these players' injuries. And I respect it to a degree. I just don't. I mean, like obviously Saquon, everyone's going to game plan for Saquon if he's in the lineup, right? Like, I mean, if he's playing, but does that really matter? I mean, everyone knew he wasn't playing against the 49ers. So for Brian Dable to go out there and kind of the day before or 2 days before go to the media and say, hey, listen, don't rule out Saquon just yet. It don't make much sense to me. But
Yeah.
anyways, I digress. But yeah, I mean, we kept it close. Like you said, they're primed for the NFC Championship game, Jerry. They kept it close to the three quarters. It was a one-score game after three quarters. You can't ask for more than that.
It wasn't like it definitely wasn't a blowout, but it never like you never really, at least in the second half, you never really felt like the Niners were losing their grip. You know what I mean? Like the Giants were somewhat creating some offense, but you just at no point did you feel like worried. There was a point where as a bettor, because I had Niners 10.5, so I was worried at one point that they weren't going to cover, but in a sense of like losing that game, it always felt like it was definitely at hand. What I don't understand is like the reluctance to put out Jalen Hyatt more. Like what was the reasoning behind that?
Um,
Are they
so
still
I
saying
mean,
like
I don't know
playbook?
if I don't know if you saw the replay of Daniel Jones just missing Jalen Hyatt. It was a go route. I mean, he was streaking towards the sideline. Daniel Jones missed it. I mean, Daniel Jones was on the run the whole game. I'm not going to make that excuse for him every single time because he did miss throws. But when you're under that sort of duress for an entire game, it takes a toll on you mentally, right? I mean, there's only so many reads
Yeah.
that you can go through in a play when you're getting just the guy's coming for your neck. So yeah, no, they needed to call those shots to Jalen Hyatt. Brian Dable post game said that they called those long shots to Jalen Hyatt. They just didn't.
He just
I
wasn't open.
guess they just didn't. Something to look forward to with the Giants is definitely how they utilize Jalen Hyatt moving forward. It's ugly right now. I get that Giants. The feel on Giants Twitter right now is like, hey, like, are we gonna really go through this tank? We're 1-2. We lost 2 games that we really were expected to lose, I should say, right? How bad we've been losing these games and how we've been looking is a different story. So that's maybe just me playing devil's advocate and having a little bit higher hopes for this season. But I think if we lose Monday night against the Seahawks, that's very telling of how the season is going to go the rest of the way. And that's just my opinion. So we'll see.
Jerry, we can't hear you. Jerry's going through some technical difficulties here.
We are struggling this
We
morning.
are struggling.
We are struggling.
We are struggling. This sucks. I don't understand. Pay all this money for StreamYard. This shit should work. And now it looks like Jerry's frozen. I guess we'll just
No, he's good.
No, he's definitely not. All right. So I guess we'll do we I guess we just have to move on here. No, Jerry? Should I remove him, bring him back?
Yeah, I think if he leaves the StreamYard and comes back in, I think it'll be fine.
Nope. All right. Chargers Vikings. That's our first game here.
Yeah.
It's a pick 'em. Over unders at 54.5. No weather because they're in a dome, right? They're in Minnesota for this game. This was the question I wanted for Jerry. Is Kirk Cousins going to the Jets in the next 3-4 weeks, right? Vikings lose. If the Vikings lose today, now like both of these teams are just notorious for melting down in the fourth, right? But like someone's got to win unless they tie, which would be hysterical. So if the Vikings lose here, that puts them at we're 3 games in. It would make them 0-4. What are they? 0-3? What are
They're
the Vikings?
0-3.
They're 0-3, right?
Each team is 0-2, so one has to be 0-3.
All right. So at that point, they'll be 0-3. How much longer? Jerry's back here. Let's bring in Jerry.
Fucking Christ, guys.
There you go, Jerry. There we go.
It must be the weather. The tri-state area is getting hit by a hurricane right now. I don't know what the deal is, and it's just a mess. I apologize. This is
No, it's all good.
But-
We're talking.
anyway-
Oh, all right. Yeah,
we're going already. I just wanted to backtrack really quick, and
Yeah.
Chris, to your point about the Giants, I agree with you. It's early. You're 1-2. You played 2 of the best teams in the NFC so far. And granted, you have to see the Cowboys once more, but I think the Seahawks game next Monday is going to be a real benchmark of how the season's going to go. Much like we'll get into it in a little bit, but much like Jets Pats today, I think this is kind of going to be like this is how it's going to go for the rest of the season. So there's still time. There's no reason to panic in New York at all, but we'll get into it. All right, continue. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, no, we just started talking Chargers Vikings, and that was the question I had for you. Vikings lose today. They're down to 0-3. Is Kirk Cousins a Jet in 3-4 weeks? So before, just hear me out from a financial standpoint. It could absolutely work, right? He's got a $10 million salary this year, big salary. He took a lot of money in bonuses, and a lot of his money was front loaded, like years before, right? This is the last year of his deal. So there's no concern in terms of next year with Rodgers and Wilson. You don't have to worry about that. And from a money standpoint this year, I mean, if you were to trade for him, I think the Jets have like a little over or under $10 million left in their cap.
There's room.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like you could bring him in and yeah.
It just depends. So I think in a perfect scenario, we get the Vikings to retain a little bit. I don't know what we do. We have that extra first round pick, and now it's evident that we kind of need it, and we need it for a fucking offensive lineman because we are in shambles. But I think, again, to your point, I think today, like I was saying before, today's the benchmark. Today we see what's going to happen. It's nut up or shut up for Zach Wilson today. And I don't want to get into it too much because this is my game I want to talk about in a little bit. But yeah. And not to recycle a take from our direct competition part of my take here. But this game, Chargers-Vikings, this is a lose-or-leave town game. This is straight up what it is. And with this game, the Vikings had a great season last year. Among me and the rest of everyone that I know, we were sitting here calling them frauds the entire time. But lo and behold, they made a run. They had a great season for what it was. They won the NFC North. It was awesome to watch and not fun to bet on. But, same thing kind of with the Chargers here. And the Chargers are always in that category. This team should be good. They have weapons. They used to have an awesome coach, but for whatever reason, Brandon Staley's just not bringing the heat right now. And Justin Herbert is among, he's in that upper, I'm not going to call him tippy top, but he's in the upper echelon of quarterbacks in the league right now, like we were talking about on Thursday night, where there's a couple guys he's teetering on that line. And I think this is going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a lot of points. I think it's going to be a little bit of a shootout here.
Over under is 54.5.
Oh, that's a lot of points.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's a pick 'em. But I don't know. It's a lingering thing. I guess in the coming weeks we'll talk about it more. But 100%. I not that I think it'll happen or whatever. But if you're the Jets, especially if you're the Jets and you fucking win today, and the Vikings lose, you really you got to start to figure something out because I guess we'll get into it with the Jets game. You know what? Why don't we we'll go into that next. Jets Pats, right? Jets Pats at MetLife.
Yeah.
Pats are -3, so Jets are home dogs. Over under of 35.5. I'm staying the fuck away from that. It's raining out. It's disgusting. They're gonna be playing in an empty stadium. You get Jets tickets today for $60.
Did the line officially move to 3?
Barstool Sportsbook has them at 3.
That's actually kind of massive for the Jets because remember what I said in the first week when you 2.5. I didn't get them, but I was saying 2.5 on ESPN. I guess that's Caesars. I don't know. But that's massive because, like I was saying in week 1, that +3 number is huge for dog. Last week at the Packers, they didn't win, but they covered because they fucking pissed it away. But more often than not, the +3 wins. Home dogs, they're gonna eat. I think it's finally time for us to get over the fucking hump. The Patriots are in shambles. I wouldn't go that far and say the Patriots are in shambles, but they do not look good. And, shit, neither do we. But, I think there's a couple things. I wrote down a couple notes here. So,
Stevie Mac, we'll get to Rams Bengals. I'll keep a note of that. Jerry, sorry to interrupt you. I just didn't want Stevie to go unnoticed. Go ahead.
Stevie Mac, love the Avatar. Big Muppet fan right here. Like we were saying before, this is kind of the benchmark of the season. We win today, there's hope. There's not a ton of hope, but there's hope because we're going to be riding this roller coaster week in and week out, and that's going to be how it's going to be. And also to your point before about Cousins coming in, which is a strong possibility. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind too much. Personally, I want to scoop up Jameis Winston from the Saints because he's just riding the bench, and I think he's a solid quarterback. I think he would do good in our system, but that's neither here nor there. We can't go wrong either way, and we're going to get kind of similar play from either or. I just think we might get Jameis a little cheaper than Kirk Cousins because that's a lot of money on the cap. God forbid we need something down the road. But everybody on this team is riding with Zach Wilson. They're handing. I saw something on Twitter the other day. They're handing out shirts that say like "I stand with him" or something like that to everyone's locker. And everyone on this team wants to see Zach succeed, and they know Zach can succeed, including myself and the rest of the fan base. All I see on Jets Twitter is just, Zach Wilson isn't playing that bad, and he's not. He just doesn't have a fucking offensive line to protect for him. Sure, he doesn't make the best decisions every single time, but he's still young. He's only in year. I mean, granted, he should know by now because he is in year 3. But still, it's not his fault. And when he needs to come up with big plays, he does. Like the one touchdown pass he threw against the Cowboys, he hit Garrett Wilson in stride for like 60 yards. That was a hell of a touchdown. He's not. And I really do think now, I'm seeing that Rodgers, he's sort of kind of healing up now to start getting more involved in the picture, and they're playing at home. So that leads me to believe that he's going to be kind of in the Manning fold a little bit, maybe in his ear with a headset. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what happens here. This is going to be a big game for the Jets. This is going to be a TV game for me. The one thing I do want to talk about, though, is Dwayne Brown's on the IR. He went down with a hip injury, and Dwayne Brown was playing on the left side. The left side's where the liability is, if you've been watching these past couple weeks. The right side has been strong. You got Mekhi Becton over there, who, again, is playing out of his mind. I'm so happy for him. He's getting.
Does Mekhi Becton, does he move to left?
Exactly. I would like him to, just because this way we have I forgot the guard's name, but he's a strong guard too. And this way you'll have a competent guard on the right side, and you'll have Mekhi Becton on the left side. And granted, you're going 1 for 2 as far as guards and tackles go, but at least you have a competent lineman on the left side and a competent lineman on the right side to give your holes for your 2 dynamic as hell running backs to run the ball up the gut and expose the Patriots defense for what it is. That's all it is. You watched last week. Last week they got dominated on the run. You got Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook. Breece Hall had 4 fucking touches. That's inexcusable.
Yeah,
I understand.
that's ridiculous.
I understand we're still kind of easing him back into the fold because he's coming off the knee injury and everything like that. But what about Dalvin Cook? Dalvin Cook's healthy as a horse, and he only had I think 5 or 6 touches for 30 yards.
Yeah,
I understand. They're good.
They abandoned the run game pretty quick last week.
We can't be doing that. We can't be doing that with the running backs that we have. That can't be happening. I understand that the Dallas defense is really, really good, and we were getting dominated up front. But still, we can't expect Wilson to throw the ball, 50, 60 times and just into the void, because it's going to kill him. It's going to kill his confidence, and it's going to lead to turnovers, and it's not going to be good. So I think today's a make or break game for the Jets. I'm excited to watch it, and I'm really excited to beat the Patriots for the first time in 10 years.
This is like similar vibes, and I don't think it's as much of like loser leaves town as much as Chargers Vikings, but today kind of gives those vibes of first of all, from the Patriots standpoint, if you're the Patriots and you walk into an empty MetLife Stadium in the fucking rain and you lay an egg and you lose this game to Zach Wilson, there's already questions about Belichick. There's questions about the future. If the Patriots, I think this game is bigger for the Patriots than it is for the Jets, right? Because if you're the Jets, you lost Rodgers, but I think with the Jets, you still look at it as we've got this good defense. Like if you lose this game 10-3 or something like that, and I'm not saying that, but in the event that happens, you're still kind of we have this great defense. We just, the problem is under center, right? And it brings us back to Cousins. If you're the Patriots and you lose this game, you're I don't even know what to do anymore, right? Mac, at that point, you're talking Mac Jones fucking sucks. Belichick is lost. There's a lot more questions for the Patriots than there would be for the Jets. For the Jets, it's obvious. Your left tackle's down. Your star quarterback went down 4 plays in. That's why this is happening. If you're the Patriots, it's much more concerning. And so that's why I think all around, this is a big game. This is a very big game.
At work, at work, I was talking with one of the guys, and he's a Patriots fan. He was telling me this. He thinks that Belichick and Bill O'Brien are both expecting. They both still have an offense sort of kind of designed for Tom Brady. It's not entirely designed for Tom Brady, but they're going out there expecting Mac Jones to do Tom Brady things, and he just can't do it. And like that's kind of the thing. And I think Belichick's such an old school guy where he kind of refuses to adapt, and he's fucking. And we know this for a fact. He's stubborn as shit. He's stubborn as shit, and he holds grudges, and he's just gonna leave things the way he is without refusing to adapt. And I think that's part of the problem here. I don't necessarily think Belichick is on the hot seat because he's Bill Belichick. At this point, he's NFL royalty. He's probably gonna go down as among the likes of Vince Lombardi and fucking not Bear Breakers College, but among the likes of the best football coaches of all time. I think at least top 3. And he's not going anywhere. Maybe he steps back as head coach, but he sure as shit remains as GM, I think, because he has an eye for that type of stuff. We'll see what happens. But I don't know. All I know is that I'm hoping for a Jets win. As you can see, we got Chris here standing in for Facino. Facino was at the game today, so I think he's going to bring some good juju and good vibes over there at MetLife and get us a win.
Chris, where are you at on Patriots Jets?
It's going to be a low-scoring, sloppy game, staying away from over-unders. I hate over-unders in general, but I got the Patriots win this game, man. I don't think Zach Wilson got it in him. I've been saying it for a while now. I'd like to see the Jets beat the Patriots. I know that they have that streak going that Jerry just mentioned, but I don't think it happens, man, to be honest with you. But, yeah, I agree with you. This is a bigger game for the Patriots than it is for the Jets, to me. The Jets can pull the plug on Zach Wilson at any point that they want. They're in the driver's seat when it comes to that. You mentioned Kirk Cousins. I agree with you. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Vikings do clean house going back to that, but I don't think it'll be Kirk Cousins. There's plenty of other backup options that they can just toss in there. But Patriots, I mean, if you look at them, they lose this game. They're already questioning, like you said, Matt, Belichick, right? They're questioning Mac Jones. This is a make or break game for them, to be honest with you. And I think they do enough just to sneak out of there. And really, it's only because Zach Wilson. I'm not riding with Zach Wilson. I'm not high on him, but if he pulls it out, that'd be great, to be honest. A confidence booster for the Jets, right? The whole entire team to believe in him. So I got the Patriots, though. That's my prediction. Would be happy to be wrong on this one, though.
I think when it comes to the Jets, man, I think if you're a fan of the Jets, what you want to see is them to just be 500 by that trade deadline or closer to the trade deadline. Justify.
I would say that bye.
When's your bye week? When's your bye week?
Week 6, I think. Week 5 or 6.
Okay.
An early bye.
So you want to be as close to 500 as possible. This is one of those games that you want to win, obviously. You want to have a justification for trading for Cousins or trading for Jameis or whatever you're going to do, because they're going to have to do something. Unless Zach lights it up, we keep saying this, right? Every week it's if Zach could just light it up, and if he could just show us, and at some point, I'm at the point of Zach, just don't fuck this game up. Let the defense play, right? Don't turn this ball over. Salah, hand the ball off. You've got a great 1-2 punch. It is downpouring today. There is no reason to put this game in Zach Wilson's hands. You don't have to do that. Let your defense play defense, right? Let them play stingy like they do. Let them play their game. Hand the ball off to Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook 25, 30 fucking times and win a sloppy 12-6, 16-14 game, right? You're not worried about spreads. We're not worried about over. Just come out of this game with a win. Stay afloat, and give Douglas a reason in the middle of the season to give up part of your future to bring in a quarterback. Because if you want to go anywhere, I just don't think it's on the back of Zach Wilson. I don't. And it's so frustrating because it's like when we talk about Fields, right? These guys have so much talent. They have the arm. They could do it on the run. How many guys, that used to be a thing years ago that we used to talk about, throwing off, rolling right, rolling left, and throwing off your back foot and throwing it deep for that matter. And that, like, not a lot of people could do that, right? And that, we saw this transition from the pocket passer to the mobile quarterback to now the guy that usually stays in the pocket but shows mobility, kind of the way Rodgers has transitioned in his career. Like, Wilson and Fields can both do that. These guys can throw on the run. Like they've got cannons for arms, and they're both not stupid. So that's the shit it's just infuriating. You know what I mean? So I don't know how you fix Zach Wilson. I'm sure there's a way. I don't think they're going to be able to do it right now. And that's why my plea to the Jets would be lean on your run game. Lean on your run game, play strong defense, and give the general manager some justification in trading away a second-round pick, right? Or, a first-round pick for Kirk or a third for JMO. Like, something. You got to give me something here. And I'm almost
getting into Are we getting into any bets here? Because I'm still taking Garrett Wilson's over. I don't really care. I can see.
Oh, what do you have in this game? What's his yards?
He's over at 40. He's over under 49.5. So I'm taking him over. I can see him taking a slant to the house. I believe in Zach Wilson to get him at least the ball, right? Even in these conditions, doesn't have to be a deep bomb, really, right? And I'm taking his over. That's the lock. I'm staying away from. There's only 2 games I like in this slate over unders, and this is obviously not one of them. I don't like those bets, period. But give me Garrett Wilson over today. That's a nice little prop bet.
Don't hate it. He's the go-to, and it stinks because it doesn't stink because he's obviously a very dynamic young player. But you look at the Jets wide receiver room, we have so much fucking talent, and it's just not being utilized because of who we have under center right now. It's not his fault, but we have Mecole Hardman, who's a fucking unbelievable receiver. We have Alan Lazard, who is also a pretty solid receiver. We have Randall Cobb, who is old but knows how to play the game very well, and you can utilize him wherever you need to be. And then we have 2 undrafted rookies who are phenomenal. We saw that Monday night game with Gibson with the punt return. He is so fast, and you give him the ball. I don't know if he's necessarily going to be out there catching passes, but if he gets the ball on a screen or something like that or a bubble, he's off. He's gone. They're not going to catch him. But I don't know. Just closing thoughts to this game really quick is that we're currently 1-0 in the division. We win today, and we're 2-0 in the division. 1 against the Bills, who are regarded as one of the best teams in the league, and then 1 against the Pats, which is just a giant weight off of our back. We're sitting pretty. I'm not scared of the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins play down to whatever level their opponents are. I think we could beat them easily. And I know they're being touted as the people to watch, but I disagree. The Dolphins will always be fraudulent to me. And we're 2-0 in the division. We win today. I think if we win today, and we can address the quarterback situation a little bit later down the road and everything like that. But it's from a divisional standpoint, and if we could just keep that at bay, and then get 1 against the Dolphins, and either 1 more against the Bills or the Pats later on in the season, we're making the playoffs. And there's so we'll see what happens. I don't know. Jets are going to win this game. Take the Jets reverse money line or reverse spread -2.5. Lock it in. I'm not playing it, but I think that's free.
Then don't tell people to take it. That's so fucked up. Your fucking balls got to be in this. That's bullshit. No, that's fucking bullshit. Oh, take the reverse spread, but I'm not taking it. You waste your money.
No. The only reason
what is this let them eat cake? You fucking asshole.
No. Listen, the only reason I'm not taking it is because my bankroll is currently. I have enough for 1 ticket today, and it's going to bankroll the coming week. So I need. What's
your 1 ticket? What's your 1 ticket?
I'm taking a coward teaser play that we'll get into later. I'll give out the play later. And shout out Ryan Peniagua if he's in the chat right now. I don't know if he is, but he's my teaser king, so he's going to be helping me out with that one. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But I'm telling you,
you're a pussy.
Jets -2.5. That's big time plus. If you're looking for a dog, they're going to be eaten today.
Our founding fathers crossed a frozen Delaware River for you to sit here in a fucking Calgary Flames jersey and tell people to take the Jets reverse spread while you have a fucking bullshit teaser bet in that you're going to get into later. Jerry, you're on watch. You're on watch right now. All right? You're in your Las Vegas fucking Social Security Pfizer. Oh my God. All right. We were talking about Buffalo. Actually, you know what? No, because Stevie Mac brought up Rams Bengals. That's a Monday night game. It's in Cincinnati. Rams are 2.5-point underdogs. Over-unders of 43.5. Ultimately, storyline of that game is what's up with Joe Burrow. And I know we were going to touch on it before, so we might as well just get into it now. What's up with Joe Burrow? Like,
hurt or injured? I don't know. Yeah, I think he might have came back too quick. You know, we saw him go down in training camp with that what looked to be a possible torn Achilles, just like fucking A-Rod over there, but it wasn't. Thank God for Joey B. But
Yeah.
I think he's more hurt than people think, and he's kind of limping on the field here and playing at half capacity. And people are now giving him shit because he just signed this massive deal, which good for him, and also like that's the right move by the Bengals. But it's not entirely his fault. I think he should sit out Monday night and get right because they're playing the Rams, and the Rams have been sneaky, like competitive, not good, but competitive here. And I don't know. I just think they should give him the rest he needs.
Stafford's
And then-
full on back. Like
Yeah.
this is old Matt Stafford that we're seeing. As long as they could keep him upright, they do have a chance. Selfishly, I kind of want to see the Rams. I'd like to see the Rams lose more and more because obviously Lions general manager came from the Rams scouting department. He's got a good relationship with them. Obviously, as we saw with the big Stafford Goff blockbuster trade. I have my eyes on two guys on that team. And I think it is semi-realistic. In terms of money, it could happen. Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp. If the Rams start to kind of nosedive, and you've already seen them allude to they'd like to start over. They tried reworking Stafford's contract, which he denied. He wasn't doing that. But like that's another guy that could potentially be a Jet if the Rams start to nosedive and they start selling off pieces. Like those are three assets that could jumpstart a rebuild for them 100%, right? You just saw them trade Cam Akers, who wasn't doing much anyway, but to trade one of your running backs mid-season, like that kind of says something, right? What were you going to say, Chris?
Whoever that backup is for the Rams is killing it, fantasy-wise at least. I'm not sure
Okay.
if you guys know his name off the top of your head, but he's absolutely killing it. So as a
the running
Cam
back or the
Akers
quarterback?
the running back for the Rams.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I mean, ugly fantasy week. I got Cam Akers and that whole situation is a debacle. But yeah, I think going back to the
Same.
Joe Burrow point, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that in terms of the Rams also rebuilding, which would make complete sense to do. It was kind of weird how Stafford just, I don't know what the situation was, but sitting out last season, I guess to take a little break. I'm not really
He was
sure
hurt.
what's going on.
He was
there.
hurt. I think
He was hurt. Okay.
I don't know what happened, but he was fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean, Jamar Chase said it. He said, I mean, even when Joe Burrow went down, even before the start of the season, Jamar Chase is like, dude, don't rush back. We can
Yeah.
go 6 weeks without you and still be fine enough to make the playoffs somehow, some way.
Well,
And obviously, they didn't listen. They paid him all that money, and they're trying him out there hurt. So I don't think he plays this week. I wouldn't play if I were him. And
really?
give me that Rams spread
Is
at
he
least.
on?
I like him for the money line because I think the Rams are better than a lot of people give him credit for. You just saw him put up a one-score game against the 49ers. They were in that game. So give me the Rams.
That's
this week.
true.
I like the Rams.
Wow, you like the? Well, yeah. I mean, the Rams are getting points, 2.5. The money line's not. You're better off taking
It's
the points
that
if you're
small of a spread. Seriously,
2.5. Yeah, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, Rams are.
He's
I
not
mean,
play-
look at the
and if it's
quarterbacks.
2.5. He's not playing. If it's 2.5, he's not playing. Vegas knows.
You don't
he's
think
not
so?
playing.
He's questionable.
No. Yeah, they're what's it called?
don't think he's suited up.
I forgot who they're working out, but they brought in someone to work. They're working out someone. They're going to sign him today. He's going to start the game. I forgot his name. He's a notable backup quarterback. and
Was
his
it
name
McCarron?
escapes
It
me
wasn't
right now,
McCarron,
but-
was it?
Yeah, it might be. It might be.
AJ McCarron?
AJ
It might
McCarron.
be.
Yeah, I think it was him.
No,
Yeah,
that's
It
nuts.
was. they brought
Oh
him
my
back
god!
from the
Yeah, they
AFC.
signed him.
Yeah.
Oh, they signed
I
him?
don't think he's
didn't
good
know
enough this
that.
week, boys. I'm
They
telling
signed him
you,
to the practice
jump on that-
squad.
Jump on that Rams. That Rams. They can elevate him, right? I mean, at any day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on the practice squad.
I don't think Burrow's playing this week. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Especially with how vocal Jamar Chase was. I don't think he's suiting up.
All right, I'm gonna write a mental note to put in Rams.
Yeah, 2.5, dude. I mean, that's
Yeah.
if they're playing down and like you got weapons on the Bengals where if AJ McCarron puts the ball in the right spot for Jamar Chase and their other receivers, it's gonna be fine. And like Chris was saying to Jamar Chase's point, you sit out for 6 weeks, we'll be okay. Like they did it before, where they went on that 12-4 run to get to the playoffs the first time after a very slow start, which we've seen before. So there's no reason to believe why they couldn't. But
do you
I
trust
think
AJ
Joe needs his rest.
McCarron? Like, do you seriously trust AJ? The guy's been playing the XFL the past couple of years. Do you really trust him? Like, actually coming in and winning a game for the Bengals? Because I don't.
He's seasoned enough to this point to know what he has to do and know his role. Like I was saying before, if he puts him in the right spot for the receivers that they had, they're so elite that they can make chicken salad out of chicken shit. And on top of that, you have Joe Mixon, who's a pretty fucking sturdy running back right now. So, let him go, let him cook, run the ball when they think you're running, throw a pass, put it in the right spot for Chase, and let Chase go to the house. And you'll have a good game. I don't know. It's not going to be a good game. I don't think it will be a good game.
No, it's going to be ugly.
Thank God there's two. Thank God there's 2 games again. But, I don't know. The moral of the story is Joe Burrow needs his rest, and the Bengals need to let him rest up to protect their investment.
Moving on here. Buffalo is in Washington to play the Commies. Buffalo is -6. And the over-under is kind of low for this game, 42.5. Both teams could put up points, right? Especially, obviously, Buffalo. And both teams really don't play good defense. So that's why I was kind of surprised when I saw this 42.5. I know you guys aren't big over-unders guys, but I don't know. Is this a trap?
It's going to be a sloppy game. It's raining out in FedEx Field right now, so it's going to be a sloppy game. A lot of runs. I trust maybe Brian Robinson Jr. Get in on him. He's been killing it. But yeah, it's going to be a sloppy game.
Is it raining by you right now, Chris?
Yeah, man, it's been raining all week.
It is.
It's raining everywhere on the Eastern Seaboard.
Well, no, I know. I was just looking at the weather, and I looked on the Weather Channel app, and it was saying no rain, no wind, 66 degrees at kickoff. But it's raining.
It's calmed down, but the conditions are still a little gray, little sprinkles here and there.
So it's not as bad. It's a sloppy game
yesterday. Yeah.
And FedEx Field is a horrible
the Commanders.
field. Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, it is. I like the Commanders, man. I like them to cover that spread. Plus, I think that I had them at +6.5. I think a couple of days ago they're +6.5. I like the Commanders spread. I think they're a better team than a lot of people, even myself, give them credit for sometimes. And I think they'll stay in it, to be honest with you. And I think that that front four, is no joke for them, to be honest with you. And Chase Young is looking like he's a little revamped too. So we'll see.
He
they got off to a
revitalized.
slow start. They haven't faced let's be honest. The Broncos game, the way they started off, kind of flukish. They beat a Cardinals team. The Cardinals are a bad team. I don't know. I think the Bills are on fraud watch, to be honest with you. I'm not convinced with the Bills, that roster making it and
Bills make me nervous. 100%. Yeah. I agree. Like something is not the same since Brian Dable's taken the Giants job. Something has not looked right in Orchard Park, at all. It's not the same Josh Allen. It's not the same offense. And I think it's produced some holes in that defense. Right? Because that defense is constantly going back out there, you're able to see the warts more and more clearly. Like when you're up, and your offense just keeps scoring, it allows you to play a little more free. It allows you to kind of bait, instead of being so strict on your coverage, kind of maybe trying to bait someone into throwing a pick and letting your free safety play center field. Like you could kind of do those things when you've got Josh Allen just bang, 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 touchdown after touchdown. When they're not doing that, and now you're playing defense a little more. Put it this way, you're playing to be more reactive, right? Like when your offense is scoring, you take your chances, you blitz, you fuck around because you have the scoreboard to kind of help you out, and you could play more dictative defense. Like we are going to dictate to you how this game is going to go. But when your offense is not producing at the rate that it should be, now you're kind of playing reactionary. You're reacting to what they're doing, I feel like. So that's why and where the warts are kind of showing up for Buffalo. It comes down like Buffalo. Yeah.
Are y'all in on Sam Howell? Are you guys convinced?
I want to see the whole season, but he doesn't look bad. Like I think also Ron Rivera is not asking so much of him. I think they're definitely simplifying the game, which they should be. They should be. You know, like go back to your roots. You know, go back to what works. Go back to your roots. And it we haven't really seen like did he go to Ole Miss or he was the UNC kid? He went to UNC, right? But like he played very free out there. He was slinging it around, like he was running around. We haven't really seen a whole lot of that. I don't know what he's tallying up in rushing yards every week. But it seems like he's kind of contained to the pocket, which I guess is a good thing too. You want to keep the kid upright, but I don't know with him. I don't know, but I definitely like. I think you want to see this season, and they're in a position where there's no one else there, so it's not like someone's breathing down his neck. And yeah, like especially with all these quarterbacks coming out next year potentially, like see what you have before you have to trade up and get one of those guys. Because there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to need quarterbacks next year, right? The Patriots, the Jets might be, the Vikings, maybe the Saints. Like, are we really convinced by Carr? I don't know. Like
fraud. For
what you're getting out of Carr, you probably could have just let Jameis start. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Is that crazy?
That. No, not at all. They're very comparable.
Yeah. Like you're paying all this money for Derek Carr and like, I don't know, Jameis is on the bench. Like, and that's the thing too. Like if you're Jameis, well, I don't know. I guess he signed more. I guess he signed a multi-year deal, but I don't know, man. Jameis could start somewhere. Like he could definitely start in the Jets. No doubt about
New York,
it.
I was going to say, he could start in New York. I'll take Jameis with arms wide open. I think Jameis is a serviceable quarterback. He makes stupid mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. He's going to throw picks, but he's also going to throw the ball down the field 40, 50 yards and pull shit out of his ass. So
easily.
What do you got, Jerry?
Sticking with the Commanders really quick. The energy's different in DC. I don't know. I mean, I've noticed it, since week one. Now that Snyder's gone, I feel like they could just take a step back and take a deep breath and just focus on football. There's no bullshit going around. There's no circus to worry about. No one's sexting cheerleaders or sending internal league memos exposing other coaches, trying to get dirt on them and doing this, that, and the other thing. And now they can just play football. And the Commanders look pretty good out there. I think this game's going to be a lot closer than people think. And I think the 6.5 that they're getting is 3 points. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they went outright because, like you were saying, like the Bills aren't. I love the Bills. I'm a friend of the Mafia. Always will be. Always have been. But it's not the same. Like we were saying, I don't know if it's necessarily Dayball's fault. I don't know what's going on in the locker room. Again, I've been saying it week after week. There's something wrong with Stephon Diggs, and we can't quite pinpoint it yet. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone after all this. And like, it's not. We saw the Jets, who right now technically can be considered, despite my waxing poetic, they can be considered a bottom of the barrel team. I don't think they are. But we saw the Jets beat them. Granted, it was a miracle. It was a miracle touchdown in OT. But like we saw the Jets beat them outright. So I wouldn't be shocked here if they drop a game to the Commanders on a shitty afternoon on a Sunday in Rowell, Maryland. So we'll see what happens. I like the Commanders here, though.
I would not be shocked. Go ahead, Chris.
Go ahead. I was going to say, Josh Allen needs to stop taking hits. Like, that guy, I'll take his over on rushing yards, but that guy is just putting himself in danger unnecessarily as well when he's running.
He's going to get hurt. He's going to get hurt because he's getting 100%. Older now. He's not, I think he's what? 26, 27 maybe, and like granted, he's not fucking 43 like Rodgers is, but like he's not a rookie anymore who could be playing stupid. He needs to smarten up a little bit and not be taking monstrous hits on these rushes where he's trying to hurdle a guy and every year goes into his knee.
Every August we hear it from him too that like I'm gonna start playing a little safer. I know I'm getting older, but like we hear it every August from him and Sean McDermott that he's got to play a little more conservatively when it comes to running. He's got to learn to slide, all these things, and then it just doesn't translate on game day. But like also that's kind of, we say this about a lot of these mobile quarterbacks that they have to stop running and that they're gonna get hurt and all those things. But like at the same rate, that's what makes them so good. That's what makes them the threat that they are, right? Like there's a statistic that I remember hearing, I think back in 2019 or 2021. And it's something along the lines of if your quarterback rushes for 3 first downs in that game, right? Not talking about yards, just 3 first downs, whether it's 3rd and 1, 3rd and 10, doesn't matter. 3 first downs. that team wins 75% of the time. Now, I don't know where that stat is today, but like it's probably pretty close, still pretty close to that number. So like, yeah, when you when as a Lions fan, when Rodgers would kill us all these years, he didn't particularly just kill us in the air. Where Rodgers would kill us is we back them up to a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12. No one's open. He's back there because we had no pass rush. Still don't have a fucking pass rush. Waiting to see that, Aaron Glenn. And Rodgers would rush for 15 yards. And like that's so deflating for a defense. That is so deflating. So that brings me back to Josh Allen. Like we could talk about him playing safer and you know what? Yeah, should learn to slide, but like in terms of running, I think he's always just going to be that guy. And like you can't that's what makes him dynamic. That's what makes him that threat. Cuz yeah, he can kill you in the air, but he could get a quick cheap, 6-7 yards on you and move the chains, right? And reset. And we know what that does to a defense, and we know how uplifting that is for an offense too. When you think you're fucking punting, and you're like, nope, we're on, we're here, and another day to live. So, yeah. In terms of this game,
did you see that play last week with Josh Allen? Try to hurdle his ex-college teammate on the Raiders, and the guy's just like, dude, what are you doing? And just set him down lightly. But if that's anybody else, Josh Allen's getting slammed to the ground, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
It just so happened to be his ex-college teammate. But yeah, man, no, I agree with you. He's dynamic, but he's just got to learn to like you got the first down already. I think there's a specific play against the Jets week 1 where he got the first down, go out of bounds. Instead, he just lowers his shoulder for the extra 2-3 yardage. That's where it scares me a little bit. So
and they want to hit you because like when you're back there, especially in today's rules, you can't touch the fucking quarterback. The minute that quarterback leaves, you're a fucking running back, man. Like you're just like one of us. So like yeah, they don't want to just hit him. They want that blow up shot, and they're not going for the ball. They're going for him, and that's like. It's not that you're particularly trying to hurt someone, right? Because there's a lot of talk of that with the Chubb injury. I'm not talking about hurting someone, but like there is a mentality on defense of setting the tone and like bringing the hammer down, right? And when you hit someone just a little harder and you make them think twice before they leave that pocket again, like that's what that's about. It's about setting the tone, setting the standard. You want to come out here and play, we're going to ring that bell, son. Like that's what that's all about, right? So that's the shit that I worry about. Yeah, exactly, Chris. That's the shit I fucking worry about.
Allen's a big dude, though. He could take it. He could take it until he can't take it anymore.
Yeah, we said that about Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Now Cam Newton can't throw a ball anymore. So, like, yeah. Right?
We'll see. Yeah. Let's move on. You want to go into the Lions or you want to go into the Bears?
Well, let's just touch Bears. Let's do Bears Chiefs because I'm sure I'm going to rant a little with the Lions. We'll touch Bears Chiefs. It's in Kansas City, 74 degrees at kickoff, no rain, no wind. Chiefs are favorited by 12.5, and the over-unders are 48.5. I don't know what to do with that, so I'm not going to touch that. But I may throw the Chiefs into a parlay today. Like I think the Bears are that bad. There's 1,000,001 rumors right now swirling with what's going on with that defensive coordinator. And same thing as Thursday. We're not touching that. All those rumors, like until I see something confirmed, I'm not talking about it. But something is clearly going on. You had the Justin Fields comments, and then I don't know if you guys saw this yesterday. Somebody broke into Soldier Field and stole $100,000 worth of Bears equipment. Like, dude, this is Chris. You know what this was? This was a Mets weekend for the Bears. This was a New York Mets weekend for the Bears.
To a T. I agree. No, man, I agree. I think it'll be close enough, but with Justin Fields' comments about him playing too robotic, I think that it's a lock for him to go over 58.5 rushing yards, which is what his stat was. That was the mark. So I think he's over at 58.5. My buddy Josh here in the comments, we do the Locked on Locks show as well. His first and second read's going to be what they are, but if he doesn't have it there, he's going to be taken off, and he's not going to be afraid to this week against a Chiefs defense that's Chris Jones will probably be after him. That offensive line is bad. He's not going to hesitate to scramble out of the pocket. Over on his yardage, rushing wise. So obviously, think the Chiefs win this game, but I just want to make it. I want to let it be close, and I want to.
Do they cover 12.5?
No.
You guys don't think they cover 12.5? I think they do.
A lot of points.
You do?
I think Fields is going to go out there and ball, like Chris was saying, and yeah, he's going to run. He's going to just play his game because that whole robotic thing, and he's just not going to think.
Yeah.
I do think, as good as the Chiefs are up front, they're like skilled defensive players. I don't think they're going to be able to contain. Not that DJ Moore is an all-star wide receiver, but he's good, and they have a couple weapons, in their wide receiver room, the Bears, that I think if they can get away and Fields can hit them in stride, he's going to have a game. I think we're going to see kind of. I mean, I could be wrong here, and Fields could be talking out of his ass, but like much like what you're saying here, I think we're going to see Fields have a game today, and I think they're going to really put up a fight because while I wouldn't put the Chiefs in the same conversation the Bills are in as far as fraud watch goes, the Chiefs also are onto a slow start here, and like it's not the same dominant Kansas City that we've seen. They played a shit team last week, and they really they put a hurting on them, and we saw that with. Chris Jones up front just dominating, which egg on my face for thinking he wasn't going to come in and make a difference, but it is what it is. But I think this game's going to be a lot closer than people think.
I respectfully disagree, but I'm a mush. So
yeah, you also hate the
definitely.
Bears, and rightfully so. You have to.
Yeah, fuck the Bears. All right, so I think that's kind of it on that game, right? Like those are the storylines. Bears are fucking mess.
Yeah, Justin Fields. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. The only counter I would say very quickly on what you said, the Chiefs offense has not looked good. It's been sputtering, no doubt about it, in the past few weeks. The only thing I will say is I think if there's a get right game and there's a game like in front of your home crowd, sun shining, like if there's a game to light it up, like and turn it back on and show the rest of the league, like no, like we're still the fucking Chiefs. It's this game. And yeah, that's my only counter. Like, I think the Bears, there's just way too much noise around the organization. There's way too much noise around their quarterback that kind of self-inflicted. Like, I think it's a perfect storm for the Bears, I think, to just get absolutely blown out. And listen, that could happen. Maybe Justin Fields blocks out the noise. Maybe he goes back to his roots. Maybe he rushes for like 75 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, yeah, maybe he does that today. But I just don't see it.
I just think it's so much points for a professional game.
I know.
In college, it's so many points, and we're not even talking about the Cardinals or the Texans here. Like, this is the Bears. The Bears, they're not great, but like
right.
12 and a half, it's 2 fucking touchdowns, like it's.
Yeah, no, I hear you. All right. Puts us at our last game here. Falcons come up to Detroit. This game's in a dome, obviously, so weather's no problem. Lines are -3. Over under in this game is 46.5. Before, this was all according to Barstool Sportsbook. I see on my book here they're back at -3. Right before we went live, lines jumped down rather to 3.5, and then I guess a lot more money came in on the Falcons or whatever, and so line dropped. So it would very quickly kind of went up and down. This game is it's concerning. So Falcons were coming into this game. Jeff Okudah, the ex-Lion, is one of their starting corners. He was questionable. He's likely to play. Cordero Patterson was questionable. He's likely to play and was already confirmed. If he comes in, he's returning kicks and punts. That's a threat. This is a guy that could burn you in a multitude of ways. Very fast guy. They could line him up at running back if they want to. Doubt they will today with Bijan. But this is a guy you've seen literally play everything on the field because he's so athletic. Outside of that, Falcons really don't. I mean, unless somebody in the chat sees something that I don't, Falcons don't have too many injuries today. Lions are missing their starting right guard, starting left tackle, starting edge rusher, starting D tackle, starting free safety, and starting running back. David Montgomery's probably not playing in this game. So I'm actually somewhat surprised, I guess, because the Lions are home. I think if the Lions were in Atlanta, they'd probably be 5-6 point dogs. I mean, maybe not that much, maybe 4.5, right? That's probably where that line would kind of reside. I'm confident in the Lions this season. Am I confident in this game? Honestly, no. They should win, right? We have the more talented team, but and I'm not making excuses for injuries, right? Because there was no excuse week 1 when we beat the Chiefs with no Chris Jones and no Travis Kelce. Like, I'm not making excuses here, but facts are facts. We're missing like 7 starters today. It's going to be really difficult. It's going to be really difficult, especially when the Lions defense is giving up, 300 yards, 350, 400 yards a game. Like, you can't do that. My key to this game for the Detroit Lions, Bijan Robinson's going to run. He's going to run all day. He's going to get 20 carries, and he's probably going to rush for 100 yards. That's fine. What the Lions need to do is they need to keep the Falcons overall out of the end zone, but they really got to keep Bijan out of the end zone, right? Ritter's a young quarterback. You could pressure the guy. You could get in his face. So I'm not particularly as worried about Desmond Ridder, but so put it this way. If the Lions could get the Falcons to just keep kicking field goal, maybe score 1 touchdown and kick field goals, like I'm confident in the Lions offense to put up, 26 to 30 points today. I don't worry as much about that. I worry more about our defense and keeping these guys out. Because last week we couldn't keep Geno Smith out of the end zone. Like, we could not keep the Seattle Seahawks out of the end zone. If you could keep these guys to kicking field goals, you could win this game. And just like the Pats game, doesn't have to be great. You don't have to cover the spread. I don't need you to blow out the Falcons. Like, we need the offense to carry the team today, and you just got to come out of here with a win. Will they? I don't think so. Amon-Ra St. Brown likely to play. One more quick note on this. It does seem like Dan Campbell prioritized next week because we're playing Thursday night against the Packers in Green Bay. And he kept harping on, if I don't want to play a guy Sunday and lose him for Thursday. So it seems like they're prioritizing Thursday night's game against the Packers. And you know what? Rightfully so. It's a game on short rest, and it's a divisional matchup. It's much more important that they beat the Packers than it is to beat the Falcons. Now, I'm not saying this game isn't important. It is still in your conference. It does help with tiebreakers, but winning in your division is significantly more important. So that's where I stand.
No, I think you make great points there, especially because Green Bay, as we saw last year in week 17, 18, how many weeks?
Week 18, yeah.
18. Week 18, Packers-Lions is always I don't want to call it a Super Bowl caliber game, but that's like the NFC.
It's a big
North
game, yeah.
bucket. You pay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's important. I think it's going to be a primetime game. I think that, little self-plug here, I think that Thursday Night Football show is going to be a good one for us. But
yeah. That
being said, here today, focusing on the game at hand, Falcons are a little bit frisky here, man. I know they kind of, that game last week against the Packers wasn't the cleanest and it wasn't the best, and they almost lost it if the Packers didn't blow it. And they basically won that game on field goals, which is whatever. But Falcons look a lot better than people were giving them credit for at the beginning of the season, myself included. And I have a couple friends from college, not sure if they're watching. I know one of them does tune in. They're diehard Falcons fans. And I, again, much like the Bills, support them, enjoy them. I'll root for them just for the sake of my friends. And, I think they've been looking good. I think Bijan Robinson's a fucking animal. He's going to be hard to contain. I think, Desmond Ridder's looking okay. He's still young. He's coming into his own a little bit. So we'll see what happens with that.
And that's going to be a big storyline today. That's going to be a major storyline today because the Lions had their chance at drafting Bijan. They chose to trade back and take Jahmyr Gibbs, right? So the storyline going into this game is going to be, whether it's fair or not, Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. And I think, it is kind of on the Lions here to, you got to give Gibbs more touches. What we're seeing is ridiculous, right? Like, he's clearly the most talented guy in the field. Give him the ball. I don't care if you hand it off to him 20 times or you dump it off to him 10 times. I don't care, but he's got to get his touches. It's time for really the organization here to showcase what they have and show the rest of the football world, like, yeah, this guy Gibbs is better than Robinson. You know, we know Robinson's a tank. We know that this guy could carry an offense on his back, but like Jameer could do things that we haven't seen probably since Reggie Bush. Like you need to show that today. That's why this game is, that's what really I'm looking at today. How much is Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell going to show why they took this guy over Bijan? Because you had your chance at Bijan. You didn't have to take Jahmyr Gibbs, right? You took him for a reason. Show us why.
I'm taking the Lions in this matchup, man. I'm sorry. I can't find it within myself to give this Falcons team credit. They are frauds. I was not impressed with that win against the Packers. I mean, it was a great comeback effort, but the Packers shot themselves in the foot. That the Packers should be 2-0 right now. Like, let's put it for what it is. Respect what the Falcons are doing, but I'm not in on Desmond Ridder. Also think that he's not anything special, spectacular. I think you guys have nothing to worry about, even with the injuries. I'm taking you guys. I don't know. The spread's a different story. Not enamored with the spread, but you guys will pull it out. You guys are at home, right? In Detroit?
We are in Detroit for this, yeah.
We're
in Detroit.
So I'm taking the Lions, man. I'm betting on Bijan Robinson, though. He's my bet for this game. I'm going to take him.
Take the yards on him. Take the yards.
I'm taking him. Well, I'm taking his over in reception yards because he's hit in the first 2 weeks on his over-unders for receiving yards. So
what's that at?
23.5. It's either 22 or 23.5. So I'm taking his over on that. But they got a little interesting dynamic duo back there with Algier and Robinson. So it's a nice little duo. But I'm taking the Lions. I think you guys pull it out, to be honest with you. So, yep. Give me the Lions.
Tossing Patterson into the mix, and it's just you tossing Patterson into the mix, and they have three of the most dynamic running backs in the league. And Patterson, as we said before, Patterson's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. So you don't even need him in the backfield.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see a lot of them in the backfield. I think they're gonna lean heavy on Bijan today. I think you'll see them throwing passes to Patterson. But I don't think you'll see him getting handoffs. All right, so Jerry, what's your prediction today on this?
On the Lions game?
Yeah.
I think the Lions win. I'm not too sure if they cover. I think it's going to be closer than people think. I don't know if it's going to be a blowout. I'm surprised it's at 3.5. I would think it would have been a little closer than 3.5, but 3.5 in my
No, it's at 3. It's back down to 3. It's back down to 3.
It's at 3 now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely I think we're looking at like a 28-27 game here. And I think the Falcons, again, for the third week in a row, are going to be heavily reliant on field goals. So if you have Young Wei Koo on your fantasy team, shout out Nick Peniagua if he's listening. Probably not, because it's like 6 a.m. in Wyoming right now. But if you have Young Wei Koo on your fantasy team, you're going to have a week.
Yeah, I think my wife has that kicker. I feel like an asshole here, but I don't know. I have an odd feeling about this game. I want to pick the Lions, but I just don't see it. I mean, not that I don't see it. Like I see a path for them to win. They absolutely can. I have way too many questions about this defense. Like way too many questions.
That's
once
wild
again
to me because you were so high on them 2 weeks ago, and rightfully so. Like they dominated. They went out there. They dominated the Chiefs. You got Hutchinson. He has the most. Like we were talking about the other night. He has the most pressure on the quarterback. I'm very surprised to hear you say that.
It's the tale of like two teams. Like how do you walk into Kansas City, get a pick six, get those stops? Like they didn't sack what's his face, Mahomes, but like they brought the pressure on him, and then you come out so flat against Seattle, and you let them dictate the game. Like and you know what? A lot of it too was just on the Lions offense for turning the ball over, right? Jahmyr Gibbs runs the wrong route. Goff throws a pick. And then Montgomery fumbles and gets hurt. With all of these guys out, you're missing your left tackle, you're missing your right guard, you're missing your running back. You're literally missing five starters on an 11-man defense. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I think they're prioritizing the Packer game. This is a toss-up. I would not bet this game. If you're going to bet anything on this game, take the over. That's what I would bet on. Because I have it actually in a parlay. So if you're going to take anything, take the over. And gun to my head, I think the Falcons win today. I do. And I pray to God I'm wrong, but I don't see it right now. I don't.
So really quick on what you just said about the defense. This is what I think. I think they were playing. I think because they started on Thursday night, so much hype, so much going on.
Yeah.
I think they had too much time to prepare for this game. I think they had too much time to prepare for this game, and on top of that, as we know historically, the Seahawks play the Lions very well, and it's always going to be a great game. And we're going to see it today, and not to jump to another game, but we're going to see it today with the Jags and the Texans, because these are two teams again that play each other. Like the Texans have no business beating the Jaguars today, but they're going to give them a run for their money, just like they always do. Just like Seattle always gives the Lions a run for their money. I think the defense had too much time to prepare coming off that Thursday night game, going into Sunday, making them overthink and doing whatever, and like running around with chickens with their heads cut off. I think today we're going to see a different team, but also to your point, I think that they're focusing on the Packers, and rightfully so. That's a more important game than the Falcons game, and it is what it is. But like, you know, every game does count. But when you're playing a game like that Packers game, you want to focus up there, especially when you're going on short rest. But that being said, I wouldn't undersell the Lions defense here. I think they're going to come in and learn from their mistakes.
Well, Kirby Joseph's also out too. So like imagine a defense here. Your best pass rusher just broke his ankle. Both of your safeties, one tore his pec, one fucked his hip up. So you're literally playing nickel corners. Tracy Walker is a safety, but you're essentially playing nickel corners at safety today. You're down.
Who broke their ankle?
James Houston on a kickoff, which is the other thing I don't get. Like,
wait, why is he on special teams?
I don't know. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is our best pass rusher, right? And I know some Lions fans are going to disagree with me. I love Aiden Hutchinson, and he's our best all around edge guy, no doubt about it. He's an athletic freak. James Houston was the kid from Jackson State that played under Dion that the Lions brought back last year. He didn't play a game until Thanksgiving. He had 8.5 sacks in 7 games. Okay. Anybody that has 8.5 sacks in 7 games, there's something there. There's clearly something there. And the Lions, for some reason, the Lions are not really as high on him as we are as fans. And the reason we keep hearing from the media is, well, you know, he's not versatile and he doesn't play the run that well. I don't give a shit. If you could get to the quarterback, like that's what gets you paid in this league. If you play defense and you could get to, it's just like playing quarterback. If you're a kid that can throw and you could hit those tight windows, you'll get paid, right? It's the same thing on defense. It's the same thing on defense. If you could bring a pass rush and you could bring pressure, you know, 3rd and long last week, they dropped him in coverage. They had our 6'1", 245-pound edge rusher covering the Noah Fant on the Seahawks. Like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? You used a 1st-round pick on a middle linebacker, but you're asking your edge rusher on 3rd and long to cover a tight end that's 3 steps faster than him and 3 inches taller than him. Like, how do you think that's going to end? And then to top it all off, you put him on kickoff. Like, what's wrong with you? That's it's a lot of that little shit that gets me nervous. I don't like that. So, whatever. We move on from this game. Chargers Vikings. Who wins? To pick them anyway.
I got the Vikings. I got Justin Jefferson, easy overhitting, looking to become the first player with 150 plus receiving yards in the first 3 weeks of a season ever in NFL history. So I got the Vikings winning that game.
Jerry, what do you got?
Side here, I got the Chargers. I got the Chargers. I think they're gonna. I don't want to say ball out, but I think Herbert puts it together. I think he utilizes Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. I think you're gonna see. Eckler's not back, right? Eckler's not playing today.
No.
Yeah. But
okay.
You know what? I'm lying to you. I thought he wasn't, but
he's not playing. I got him on my fantasy. I don't think he's playing.
Yeah. So they're down Eckler, and that's all right. I think they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. I don't think, as we know, the Vikings defense is a shithole. So I think they're going to be exposing holes there and just hitting the balls long and in stride. And I think you'll see Keenan Allen have 100 yards and a touchdown or 2, maybe. And I'm only saying that selfishly because I have him on my fantasy team and I'm depending on him.
I'm with you. I'm taking the Chargers, but like, whoever wins this game, like nothing's going to shock me. The only thing I could say about this game is I think this over is going to hit. It's high, but I think it's going to hit because both teams can't play defense for shit, and both teams could throw the ball around. So I would take. I liked your prop bet, Chris Jefferson. I would take whatever prop bet you could see on wide receivers and quarterbacks, and I love the over at 54.5. Go ahead. Charlie.
I'm with you on that one. I don't know the exact stat, but I'm pulling it from Barstool Advisors. Kirk Cousin in like 1 o'clock week. I don't know. Fucking
Yeah.
something with the over.
1
It's
p.m. Kirk
28-8.
Cousins.
Yeah, 28-8. Fucking hammer it. They're playing the Chargers. The Chargers, they're not really great defensively, and Herbert's going to be taking risks here. And you're playing Brandon Stanley, who also, we talked about it before, not the greatest coach this year, and probably on the hot seat, like Will was saying. But at the same time, this guy does take risks. A lot of, he's prone to going for it on fourth down. I think we're going to see Herbert air it out. I think we're going to see Kirk Cousins play a 1 p.m. Kirk Cousins game. I think this game's going to be a high-scoring game, and they're part of my teaser. The Chargers are a part of my teaser with boost points that we'll get into in a little bit, but I do like the Chargers here, and I like the over.
Okay. Buffalo Commies, that line just moved again. Everyone, I think everyone's betting the Commanders because the line jumped down to 5.5. Was at 6, now it's at 5.5. Money line's at 205. So I think I'm taking the over in that game. I'd love to say the Commanders, but I'm just going to go with the Bills. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Commanders won, but I'm going to take the Bills.
I think I don't love the over there. I think the Commanders' defense are better than you gave them credit for. I think you shouted on them a little bit before when we were talking about the game. I think you're going to see them come out and pressure Josh Allen and really give him a run for his money. So we'll see what happens with that.
The past 2 games they've given up against Cardinals. They gave up 16. Against the Broncos, who can't play offense, they gave up 33 points. And I know that was in Denver, but that's a lot for a team that can't score more than 20 points every week. That's a lot. So I don't know. Listen, we're in week 3. Anything could happen. Chris, where are you at on that game? You're taking the Commies?
Yep, taking the Commanders. I think they win the game overall, to be honest with you, but I'm taking that spread.
You going to play that money line?
I got it. I wouldn't do the money line. I'd just take the points and the spread, whether it's 6.5 or 5.5. I think it'd be close, but I wouldn't be surprised if they won. But I'm in on the Commanders.
Okay. I'm also seeing this too. Just quick sidebar: Panthers Seahawks. Seahawks are home, and they're only -5 against the Panthers, who are starting Andy Dalton today. I might throw $100. I might throw a unit on Seahawks spread. Honestly, I know the Seahawks are like so hot and cold, but I don't know, dude. Andy Dalton sucks.
I can endorse that.
Yeah, but are you going to bet it? You going to bet it?
No.
You going to bet it, Vegas?
I can endorse it, but I'm not going to bet it.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah. Your endorsement.
So not that I've been
Shut
all
up
high
your
and
ass.
mighty on. Not that I've been high and mighty on the Panthers all season long, but I've been seeing something there with what's his name under center, but he's hurt. So now that he's down, like that's kind of the offense right there, because he was so dynamic. And now, like, you don't really know what's going to happen, especially with Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's an old fart, so I don't think we're going to really see too much. They have a couple of weapons, but I think, like you said, I think the Seahawks here are a lock, especially because they're at home in Seattle. So we all know how games go out there on the West Coast. That's a fucking far travel coming from Carolina.
We already talked Bears Chiefs. I'm just going to jump right into it. Pats Jets. Jerry, we're going to start with you, resident Jet man. Who's winning? Let's talk all 3. Who's winning? Does that team cover the spread? And do we like this over-under?
Jets win. Jets
Over-under is
cover.
35.5, by the way. It's
Jets
an under?
win, Jets cover. It's an under game. It's not going to be pretty. I think it's going to be like we were saying, 9-6.
You feel
like that,
comfortable, though, taking 30 under 35.5? That is like, that's... I could see you saying stay away.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to do me a favor right now. I want you to go to your window and look outside. Go to your window and look outside and tell me how it looks. And then, yeah, you're in the basement. You probably don't have windows. I'm calling the housing authority in Nassau County on you. Anyways, It's shitty out today. It's really not a nice day. And as we can see, I'm sure we can call in casino and get like a fucking man on the street report from the MetLife parking lot. It's not going to be good playing conditions out there. Zach Wilson can't throw. Mac Jones can't throw. And on top of that, you're playing at MetLife, which is notoriously the worst field in the NFL. So it's going to be slick. People are going to be slipping and sliding all the way down. It's going to be a dirty game. It's going to be a gross game. It's going to be a waste of time to honestly watch. So we'll see what happens.
It's our resident weatherman, Ralphie Buffalino, the pride of Westbury. Matt, it's not raining yet, just damp out. Thank you, Ralph. Appreciate it. Ralph, sound off in the comments. Let us know. You taking the over? You taking the under? And are you taking Jets money line? Because I got a good feeling you love burning money. Chris, where are you at on this game?
Yeah, I got the Patriots. I'm not enamored with any lines, the spread or over under. I'm gonna get the Patriots. Give me Garrett Wilson yardage and just call it a day. But I'm in on the Patriots, man. I think it's gonna be a sloppy game, low scoring. I wouldn't be surprised if 35 the under hits. Regardless. The Patriots aren't gonna score often. Obviously, Jets defense is what it is still. I think it was a fluke game, obviously against the Cowboys. I didn't really watch that game, but yeah, give me the Patriots this game. I don't know. I just don't believe in Zach Wilson, man. I really don't believe in him. He doesn't even have to do much either. That's the crazy thing. He doesn't have to do much, and I still don't believe in him. So, like, man, it would be cool if he pieced it together, though, today and that streak. So, but give me the Patriots.
All right, Jerry, Ralphie's in your corner. He's taking Jets money line. Right? He's on the sauce. He's on the sauce today.
Ralph, did you take the Buffs money line yesterday like me?
No. What are you talking about? Buckeyes? Oh, you're asking Ralph?
Yeah, because I'm assuming Ralphie Buffs. I'm assuming he's a Colorado fan, right?
I'm gonna assume Ralphie is not. No. Oh no. I went to high school, Ralph. No, Buffalino's his last name. That's why it's Buff. No, he's not. He's not a Colorado Buffalo guy.
Ralphie the Buffalo.
No. That's Ralph. Talk about bad beats though. I had a heartbreaker last night. It wasn't the worst thing in the world because it was a push, but I had Notre Dame +3, and they fucking scored that touchdown. Dude, the whole bar had Notre Dame money line, and one kid next to me with $3,000 on it, and the kid was like 22 years old. I was like, dude, that's not the move, man. That's not the move. You gotta stop watching Gary Vee videos. No, like that was rough. That was rough. I mean, it could have been worse. We got the push on that, but that sucked. In terms of this game, my heart says the Jets, man. I wanna say the Jets are winning. I want to see them win. It's definitely gonna bring up the vibes on this podcast, but I just don't see it. And it's a sloppy game. I wouldn't touch this over under. If you like that Garrett Wilson prop bet, that's not bad. Maybe see what you can get on Breece Hall today. Maybe they're going to utilize him a little more, especially with the rain.
I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on this game in its entirety. If you feel frisky, fuck around with that over under. But I think the Pats win, but I think they win by 1. They win by 2, something weird. It's a very weird win. This game's either going to be in hand the whole time, or Pats and Jets are just going to keep fumbling and fucking up until someone walks into the end zone at the end of the game. So, what do you got?
To put a sidebar here, but shout out Josh. He just showed me Ian Rappaport's tweet. I'm not sure who's in on this Packers game tonight or today. 1 p.m. game, but I don't know if you want to bet on Derek Carr or not. I'm not telling you to do so. That would not be smart, but Jair Alexander's out, Watson's out, Bakhtiari's out, and Aaron Jones is also out. So Packers missing a lot of starters today as well. So
Aaron Jones is out?
Aaron Jones is out, yes.
Wow. Saints are such a bad road team, though. I don't know. Listen, I fucking hope you're taking the Packers?
Yeah, I'm taking the Packers.
Yeah,
I don't believe in the Saints. I don't believe in Derek Carr.
I'm right there with you. I think the Packers win today. I also don't really believe in the Packers, but I'm more so on what you're saying with the Saints. Do we? I guess that's kind of it. Do we call Facino and get a quick report from MetLife?
No, leave him be.
Leave him be.
Yeah, leave him be.
Jerry,
he's probably wet. He's probably wet and miserable right now. Just not wanting to deal with it.
All right.
But let's give our locks. What do we got for our locks? Let's give our 3-pick.
Does somebody else want to start?
I'll start.
What do you got?
This is a game we haven't talked about, a game probably people are paying no mind to. Hold on. Actually, let me get the odds here.
So Broncos, Dolphins?
Nope. You're going to laugh at me and call me crazy. But I think my lock of the night is Sunday Night Football, Steelers money line.
Who are they playing?
That's so funny. I just saw on Twitter they're promoting
the
Matt Canada to a higher role.
They're playing Steelers are playing the Raiders. Steelers are +3 in Las Vegas, but Raiders aren't good. Steelers are but I think Steelers pull this out in primetime. We'll see.
All right. I don't think so. I think the Raiders beat them. I think the Steelers are like low key one of the worst teams in football. They're fucking awful, and it's their defense is good. It's not a bad defense, but they just cannot generate any offense. That Monday night game the other night was so sloppy, which is also like, what the fuck? Why are the Steelers, who haven't done shit in like 5 years, why are they playing back-to-back fucking primetime games? Like, what is the NFL thinking with this? Is it just like, oh, early season Steelers drives up ratings? Like, is that the idea behind it? Because they have not been an interesting team to watch, like, at all.
It could be. I mean, I don't know what their primetime slate is for the rest of the season, but it could be they're getting. I'm sure there's a benchmark each team has to hit for every season. Like the Jets have 5 primetime games, probably mainly because of Rodgers. But like, I think like they're getting them out of the way now in the early of the season. This way, like when there's meaningful football down the road, which the Steelers probably won't be a part of, they're not going to be taking the primetime slots.
All right,
and that goes for both teams too with the Raiders.
Chris, what's your locks today?
I agree with you guys. I got this. I agree with Jerry Steeler. I got the Steelers in that game. I'm not sure about a lock just because their offense is garbage. But that Matt Canada promotion, whatever he's getting promoted to in a higher role, is such a troll. I mean, to their fans who are calling for his firing, and they're just promoting him to a higher role. My locks for today. I like what Will said in the chat. I think Gus Edwards. We haven't talked about the Ravens Colts game. I like the under in that game. Ravens Colts. Forgot what it's at. I think 53.5 or something like that. Locks, we already went over it. Justin Jefferson and Justin Fields today. Receiving and rushing yards, respectively. So, yeah, those are my 2 locks. If I had to throw a third one out there, well, 3 and 4, 1A, 1B is the Seahawks spread. I agree with you on that. I'm taking that. I'm not sure why that's. I don't know if we're just reading into it. I don't know. But that and then the Dolphins. I could take the Dolphins spread all day too. I don't believe in the Broncos. They're at -6. I'm really in on the Dolphins this year. I like what they're putting together. As long as Tua is staying healthy, that offense is lethal. Give me the Dolphins today. I'll take the spread -6. I mean, I think they win by more than a touchdown. So
yeah, I like that. I like that. I don't have anything that I actually have a bunch of things that I kind of like. So you know what? Let me just read off my action. I have 2 parlays in right now, both 20 to win 120. I got Bills over 43, Falcons over 46, Raiders under 43. That's one parlay, and then the other parlay is Chargers over 54, Bills over 44, and Seahawks to win by 6. So, if I had to pick any one of those as a lock, I imagine Falcons Lions should definitely go over 46 points. Whatever it is, 46.5. Is it? Yeah, 46.5. I think they'll score well into the 50s, 100%. I think both teams don't play great defense. The Lions especially don't play great defense. And it is 2 pretty decent offenses, so, yeah.
Ford Field's a fast field. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a high-scoring field,
All right, boys, you got anything else?
Yeah, so I want to just give that teaser pick I was talking about, that teaser ticket that I mentioned before. That's
okay, Grandma. What is it?
We'll see what happens. All right. So we got Tennessee spread, Chargers spread, Bills spread, Jaguars spread, Ravens spread, and Saints spread. And you're going to tease that by 6 points. 6 points, all 6 of those picks. That's plus 500, 5 wins 25. You're in fucking business. That's the moneymaker right there. And I think all those spreads should cover. You're looking at Tennessee plus 9.5, Chargers plus 7.5, the Bills plus a point, Jacksonville minus 1.5, Ravens minus 1.5, and the Saints plus 4.5. I think all of those spreads cover tenfold. I think it's a safe play, and I think it's a moneymaker.
You threw $5 on that?
That's all I have left in my account. Jerry's down bad, boys. Jerry's down bad.
I like that.
Times
We haven't talked about the second Monday night matchup. Two teams. I think the Buccaneers are frauds, but that's at -5. You guys taking the Eagles over -5?
Yes.
I'm going to wait on Monday to touch that game. I'd like to see what happens with today's action. Yeah, I would lean toward the Eagles, but they're another team that it just doesn't seem like it's not last year's Eagles. Like something's off with them too. But
Yep.
they should win, and B, they should win by a touchdown. So I would agree with that. Yeah. All right, boys. We got everything out.
Yeah, I
That's
think
all I
so.
got.
All right,
Thursday.
everyone.
Thursday.
Thanks for tuning in. Chris, you want to plug your stuff before we end this? I forgot last
Yeah,
Thursday.
man. I mean, I'm looking forward to Thursday. Bring the energy. Obviously, got a huge divisional matchup, like we said, Lions Packers. We'll see how that game goes. That's going to be great content. So hopefully everyone's tuning in. Locked on Locks, man, on my channel. Myself and Josh go over the slate as well, just like we do here. Happy to have you guys, join. Whoever wants to join in on that, talk some football with us on our channel. But other than that, I appreciate you guys having me on Sunday. I'll see you guys for the regular scheduled programming on Thursday evening. And it was a good show, man. Despite all the difficulties, we got it done. That's what matters.
That's what I was going to say.
All
I
right.
was just going to apologize for the technical difficulties encountered this week. We'll be better. We're still new at this, but we're getting better each week, and we hope you enjoy the show so far. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Much appreciated.